Good evening and welcome to this Northern Section Division I championship game on PlayOnSports.com. It's the PlayOnSports.com pregame show live from Enterprise Community Stadium in Redding, California. I'm Frank D'Arienzo with Nick Dobis on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
That's right, Frank. The Bobcats under this game looking for a third consecutive Northern Section title in their fifth straight trip to the section championship game. The previous four have been played on Wraith Field with the Bobcats boasting the number one seed, but Frank, the script has been flipped on them tonight. The Bobcats have been 3-2 since beating their newly ordained Hornet rivals on October 5th, including a 3-touchdown loss to Red Bluff, which cost them the number one seed. But veteran coach Rick Prince steadied the ship, and they had a really solid performance last week, routing Foothill 42-6. Frank, I think, if the Bobcats want to be successful tonight, obviously they're outside of the friendly confines of the Foothills. They just can't really forget who they are, and that's a team that stays patient on offense. That's a team, and a team that's a bend but don't break. Yeah, a bend but don't break defense. If they can, remember who they are, I think they're going to be just fine. Certainly a player that was circled and probably double-starred on the Hornets' game plan this week was Johnny Porter, who's coming off some injuries late in the season, but he had a 4-touchdown performance versus the Hornets last time, including a 59-yard end-around and a sensational 65-yard one-handed catch, which was the Play on Sports number one catch in the nation that week.
Whoa. And
helped him to be our player of the game. And obviously, if you're looking at the Bobcats, Tom Hayes, 330 total yards last game against the Hornets, led them to 520 total yards that night. And Zeph King also needs to be quite the disruptor and really limit the short passing game of the Hornets, which that Bobcat defense got really exposed to the last time these two played. So I really liked Paradise is a team to like, but there's a lot to like about this Hornet team as well, Frank.
And we're looking for a pretty good matchup here since both teams are 8-3. So we'll just have to see what goes on here in a couple of minutes. So that's going to do it for tonight's PlayOnSports.com pregame show. We'll be back with the kickoff of this Division I championship game in just a few minutes. Championship football begins next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Welcome back to the PlayOnSports.com's presentation of this Division I championship game. Coming to you live from Redding, California. I'm Frank Durienzo with Nick Dobis, as always, on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup features the 8-3 Paradise Bobcats visiting the 8-3 Enterprise Hornets. Let's just talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, Frank, if this game was in the friendly confines of the foothills, I'd put a lot of money on the Bobcats winning, but if you look at this Hornets team, they've won 4 of their last 5 games since losing in heartbreaking fashion 41-42 in overtime against these Bobcats, with their one loss during that stretch coming to the hands of Sutter, who's currently undefeated and playing for the Division II title tonight. So Hornets are also 5-0 at home this season, while the Bobcats are 2-2 outside the confines of the foothills. Also, this is the first time that Paradise has played at Enterprise since 2008, so very unfamiliar territory here for the Bobcats. So I think if the Hornets can establish balance on their offense, limit the Paradise offense, and put pressure on them to produce points, I think they have a really good chance of taking the title away from the Bobcats.
And the fans are ready, and they're in rare form tonight as they're very loud as the kickoff gets underway. And it's going to be fielded just about the 15-yard line, and he is hit. Huge hit there. And so the 27-yard line is where you end up. And so a good start to get that momentum going.
Yeah, beautiful hit there by Chase Oraves, laying down the boom early in this game to get the home crowd up and going. So let's see if the defense can continue the hard hits.
And so we're going to have to see what Paradise has to do. Tom Hayes and company.
Yeah, I mentioned Tom Hayes last week. He's really the spark plug of this offense.
And so it's going to be a hand up off the middle, but he's going to go nowhere. And they're going to give him forward progress just about half a yard, so it's going to end up just about the same place. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 now.
Yeah, it looks like that was Matt Machado on the carry there. Was introduced to a swarm of Hornets early in that play. Nice job by the defensive line by the Hornets, who really have to play their best game of the season against this very capable offensive line.
And so man is in motion, and it's going to be a quick pitch out to the outside, and he does have defenders. He had no defenders. Sorry. Kind of messed up there, but, yeah, he picks up a very nice gain. It's about 15 yards.
Yeah, and that's the danger of Johnny on the spot Porter. He can hurt you in a lot of different ways. I mentioned the last time, had 3 receiving touchdowns and a rushing touchdowns against these Hornets, so you're going to have to keep an eye on him.
It's a good nickname. And so it's going to be a handoff for Tom Hayes, and he's moving and weaving, and he gets enough to get a first down, and he's down around midfield now.
Yeah, I think what's most impressive about...
Sorry, that was Johnny Porter again.
Excuse me, Frank.
No.
I was going to say what's most impressive about this Paradise offense is how patient they are. They can get big chunks of yards on the ground. They don't need to have a prolific passing game, but they do like to take their opportunities in the passing game, particularly on this side of the 50 yards. So let's see if they do a little play action.
And they're doing very well on this drive if they've already had 2 runs that netted more than 10 yards. And we have another handoff, and it looks like it's going to be another big run. And so 3 in a row, and that's going to be Kenny Bengtson.
I believe that was actually Jonathan Dixon.
Sorry,
and
Jonathan Dixon.
If he's running loose in your back in the secondary, that's a nightmare that these Enterprise faithful do not want to see. So
I apologize, fans, for that.
Yeah, and actually, yeah.
And so it's going to be a handoff up the middle, and he does have room, and he's pursued in the backfield again. So another run here that gains a whole bunch of yards, and they're down into the red zone now.
Yeah, and Brandon Evers, number 72, is kind of getting picked on the left side, or excuse me, the right side of the offensive line right now. Good job by the offensive line of the Bobcats to really assert themselves early in this game.
And he was showing good ball carrier vision on that one as he hit up the right hole. And so it's going to be a handoff to Jonathan Dixon. And he's going to gain just about 4 yards on the play, so they're right around the 18-yard line now.
Yeah, I was going to mention Jonathan Dixon had 4 rushing touchdowns last week and has had multiple rushing touchdown games, but the last time the Hornets played the Bobcats, they only limited him to 1 touchdown. So I think if they can bottle him up and bottle up the running game, the Hornets have a great chance to pull off a victory here, but let's see what they do in the red zone.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Matt Machado, but he's going to go nowhere. He's going to get stuffed. at the line. And so it's going to be a 3rd and long now, 3rd and just about 8.
And this is very similar to the game plan that the Hornets had the last time they played. It's kind of squeeze the Bobcats into a tight field and force them to kick field goals or make tough decisions in the red zone. So this is a beautiful opportunity here to really force Coach Prince to make a tough decision early.
And so Paradise is ready now as they jump to the line. And it was going to be a handoff, but it looks like it's going to be a pass now, and he throws it down the field, and it's nearly intercepted. Yeah, and so that was, we're not sure. We have 2 number 3s on our roster here, so we'll have to clean that up.
Yeah, I think it probably was True Blood coming up from the free safety position right there. Almost had that one, and I'm sure he would have loved to run that one back for 6 points. Yeah. But forces a nice 4th down here, and it looks like Coach Prince, championship game, he's going to go for it here. He likes what he sees. So,
and so that's going to give him a 4th and 5, and he's going to pass yet again, and he passes it out, and it's complete this time. Johnny Porter.
It's going to be close, but I
think they might have given him
the spot on that one.
But and they're going to move it down, so it's going to be 1st and goal on the 10-yard line now.
Yeah, and it looks like
excellent job on 4th down.
Excellent job. They're finding the space, sitting right in the zone, and making sure you make the short catch for the 1st down.
Sure.
Now this is, as we mentioned earlier, 1st and goal or 1st, and 5. This is Jonathan Dixon territory, so let's see if they give it to him.
And that's exactly who they give it to, right up the middle, and he is in for a touchdown. And so a 10-yard rushing touchdown by Jonathan Dixon, and you mentioned it, he is the red zone specialist when it comes down to it, and so he just goes in without even being touched.
Yeah, he really is, and, he's just so big and so fast. But if you're the Hornets, you don't really want Jonathan Dixon to score touchdowns that easily. So the Hornets are going to have to get some more hats to the ball carrier if they want to be successful in this game.
And so that's going to shift a lot of momentum towards Paradise's way. And so that kick is no good, and so it's going to be 6-0 now.
And that's killer because, in a championship game like this, you're going to probably need every point. As we saw from the last time these two played, a 42-41 victory. So we'll see if that extra point plays in later in this ball game. But what a fantastic, efficient start for the Bobcats.
And so a huge drive, just about 80 yards or so, drive down in for a touchdown. 75, excuse me. Thank you, Ron. And so that was a great job on the first drive there. Like you said, very efficient. And I like what I'm seeing from Paradise so far. And now it's time for Enterprise to show what they're made of.
Yeah, and this game is probably going to turn into a shootout either way. But if you're the Hornets, you just got to, an interesting stat. Brad Woods, the running back, when he gets more than 20 touches, the Hornets are 8-1, and they're 6-0, and he does that and breaks 100 yards a game. So they do need to get him the ball a little bit, even if he's not getting, those 4 to 5 yards a pop.
And so Paradise was getting it done. They made a huge 4th down conversion, and then Jonathan Dixon just ran it in pretty much unabated. And so here's the kick, and it's going to be returned at number 5, and he does have some blocking up the middle, and he breaks away, and he could go all the way. He has no one to beat, and he's going to take it all the way back in for a touchdown. So an amazing 84-yard. Oh, man, kickoff TD. Wow.
The Bobcats come out with a few jobs to get in the end zone, and the Hornets just come out and punch the Bobcats right in the mouth on special teams to get the huge kickoff return right there. Nice job breaking the tackles. It looks like the kicker didn't take the best angle on it, but just too much speed right there. Very nicely done by Travis Hall. And he has proven himself to be a very, very dangerous returner throughout the season for the Hornets. So I don't think they're going to be kicking it to him for the rest of the night after that one.
I was definitely suggest a squib kick or some kind of other form of trickery to get the ball away from him. And so since the extra point is good, they're going to go up by 1 point here. And so already that missed extra point by Paradise has already come back to haunt them. And so the Division III championship against Willows 3 days ago, it came down to an extra point attempt. And so, Willows edged out Hamilton City 21-20. So that could be a factor in this game.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see not only how the Bobcats respond to that huge momentum play right there, but if they do go down and score a touchdown, is it now the time where they go for two, or they try to postpone it later in the game? Because if you go for two and you don't get it, then you're just going to be playing catch up the rest of the game. So if you're the Bobcats, just take a deep breath and just don't forget who you are. Just have a nice efficient drive right here, and the Hornets. I would like to see if they try to get a 3 and out, because that's something they haven't done very well against this Bobcat team in the past.
And so it's 7-6 now. Enterprise is up, and the offense hasn't even taken the field for Enterprise. And so we'll have to see here what Paradise can do. It's a good game so far.
just how been anticipating and waiting for this game all week, Frank, I'll tell you what.
And so the kickoff is going to go out of bounds. And so that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, and that's going to give the Bobcats some excellent field position. Field position played in huge the last time these two teams met. And, as efficient as this Bobcat offense has been all year, you just can't, give them some helpers right there by giving them a shorter field.
And so the Paradise Bobcats are going to have it at just about the 35-yard line since the kickoff went out of bounds. So first down and 10. 8:26 left in this quarter, and it's going to be a quick pitch out to Porter, and he has the sideline. Oh, man, and this is just a game of huge plays here as he as he beats everybody. He went through 3 defenders there, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. And so Paradise coming back, and they're going to be up. Wow, by 5 points now, 12-7.
Well, I better not look down on my notes for the rest of the game, because I just might miss some more scores. That's the second time they ran that sweep play to Porter, and his ankle was looking pretty fine after that run. And it looks like we just have, once again, a huge heavyweight match between these two EAL powerhouses, just trading blows right now early in this bout.
So our score is going to be 7-12 now. Depending on how the PAT will go, it might go to 13.
I don't know who's going to get tired first, the scoreboard guy or the offensive lines for both of these teams. It looks like they are going to go for two on this
Paradise
one.
Is going to go for two and he hands it off to Porter, and he may make it in. And yes, he does get the conversion. So 2-point conversion is successful, and now they're up by a full touchdown now. 14-7.
Wow.
So an excellent run there.
Yeah, both teams wasting no time putting points on that board. And through different ways, obviously it's funny because, I've been waiting to see, Zach Trueblood, who's had 27 passing touchdowns, setting a school record this season, including 3 against the Bobcats, and he hasn't even stepped on the field yet on the offensive side. So,
right.
Well, I heard, the Reading broadcasting putting the over-under at about 70 points, and I think they're right on track for that one right now.
Sure.
Wow.
For sure. So very exciting first quarter in this game, and it couldn't have happened at a better time in the very last game we'll see here in the North State till next season. And so the championship game is proving to be very exciting here.
Yeah, and not only both teams, but both these fan bases, really have been looking forward to this one. Bad blood was spilled between these two in 2009, and bad blood was spilled between these two teams in 2009. They had a heck of a game in the Foothills earlier this season, and it looks like this one's about to be another gem as well.
And so it's going to be a good kick here, and that's going to be. Well, he's not going to break it off this time, and that was Jordan Depp. And so he'll take it down to just about the 30-yard line, so Paradise wasn't going to let that happen again. And,
no, certainly not.
And so for the first time in this game, we'll see the Enterprise offense come out, and we'll see what True Blood and company can do against this very good Paradise defense.
Yeah, this is an offense that's been averaging 405 total yards a game. So balance, as we said earlier, is very important for this team.
And so it's going to be a handoff up the middle. And so that was Brad Woods. And we had mentioned him before in the pregame. And so he gets a couple of yards there, just about 2. So it's going to be a 2nd and 8 at just around the 33-yard line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they use the interior running game to set up the play action. That's what really fooled the Bobcats, was that mid-range play action passing game that got them last time.
And so it's going to be an end around on the outside, and he does have the corner. And so excellent job there by the offense.
Yeah, it looks like that was Ziggy Welch, number 40, getting introduced to Zeph King on the outside too. Nice pursuit from the linebacker position, but Welch showing that he's got some speed on the exterior as well.
And so Enterprise taking some cues from Paradise as they're moving quite efficiently on the ground. And so we'll have to see. And so everybody's ready now as we see Zach Trueblood there, and he hands it off up the middle yet again, and it's going to go nowhere. So that was a 1st and 10. It's going to be a 2nd and 8 now.
Yeah, it looks like they tried to bring Holman in motion there to get the secondary of the Bobcats looking, but the Bobcats did a nice job staying at home and forcing a 2nd and long. This, any offense wants to avoid this, but especially if you're Enterprise, you definitely want to stay out of the 2nd and long range.
And so we have just about 7 minutes left in this game as Trueblood takes a snap from center, and he's going to be hit and sacked. Whoa, Jonathan Dixon getting it done on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
wow.
Now, that shows you the power of Jonathan Dixon. Not only a formidable running back, but is also a menace on that defensive line, doing a nice job shedding the block right there and forcing a very long 3rd down here.
So it's going to be 3rd and 16 on the 37-yard line now as that sack drops them all the way back. And so they're going to have 3 receivers stacked on the bottom half of your screen here. And he tosses it over the middle, and it is going to be caught. Wow! By Brock Barr, and he's going to be brought down at just about the 35-yard line. And so both of these teams proving to each other that they have big play capability. And so Brock Barr, a huge pass.
Fantastic play design there. Bobcats came out in a man defense. That little play scrambling, and Brock Barr made a more fantastic catch to pick up a critical 1st down for his team. Yeah, and
it wasn't that great of a throw, but the receiver managed to take all the credit for that one, and so he is bumbling before the line of scrimmage, and he manages to get away from 3 or 4 defenders, but it's the 4th one that finally brings him down.
Yeah, the Hornets kind of torched the Bobcat zone the last time these two played, so it looks like the Bobcats might be going a little bit more man-to-man, and we'll see how those matchups go for the rest of the night, because there are some, even though the Bobcats have some athletic receivers, we've seen some athleticism early by the Hornets receiving core.
And so it's going to be a handoff to the right-hand side, and he has no one to beat. He has maybe one, but he's going to go in for a touchdown. So Brad Woods showing what he can do. And so it's going to be a touchdown run. And so 13-14 now.
Yeah, that was
it's just the first quarter, so we're looking at a 60-point game.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Beautiful stretch play on the right side to get the Bobcats stretched and out of position. And once Woods made that cut, it was daylight come, and he wanted to go home.
Man.
And he made a nice little 30-yard or so scamper right there for the touchdown.
Yeah, he had a hole that you could drive a Mack truck through. And so Paradise is going to look to clean that up with their defensive line. And so the kick is up. And it is good from the signal of the referee. So we're all tied yet again. So we have a brand new ball game. 14-14 now. 5:19 left in this quarter. And so we've already seen 4 scores in one quarter. And do you think it's just going to keep up like this And, I mean, both of these teams are shocking me right now.
Well, yeah, both of these teams have been getting it done on the offensive side all season, and obviously both defenses need to make adjustments. Obviously we saw the balance right there by Enterprise that they needed with Woods and the receiving cores, not getting too pass heavy, which I think kind of hurt them at the end of their last matchup. So nice job establishing balance early right there on that drive. Now let's see if the Bobcats, anything that the Enterprise can do, they've proven to do better so far. So we'll see if they have a scoring drive of their own once again.
Yeah, so it is a verbal game of whatever you can do, I can do better. So, a good matchup game so far.
Can't ask for anything more so far between the number 1 and the number 2 seeds here in the northern section.
And I have to give it up, for the fans here because they are already being treated to one heck of a ball game so far. And so the kick is up, and it's going to be fielded just around the 15-yard line. And he's going to be hit at just around the, lower 20s yard line, just about 23-yard line, and that was Tyler Burrows with the return. And so Enterprise getting it done on special teams as they hold him just about right there and give him worse field position.
And don't expect Paradise. I mean, they may come out throwing the ball, but I don't expect their game plan to change at all in this series.
And so it's going to be run up the middle, and it's not going to get too many yards here, just about 3 on the carry.
No, and I think that's what the Bobcats need to do is kind of slow down because this pace right now certainly favors the Hornets in a high-scoring game. And I think the Bobcats, what they need to do is kind of slow down the pace, grind it on that running game, and maybe get to the we might get to the end of the first quarter before there's 4 more touchdowns, but we'll see.
And so it's going to be it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and he gets all the way out down to just about the 40-yard line. So an excellent run by Tom Hayes there, and he's going to be at the 42-yard line. And so it's going to be excellent position. He faked me out. I thought he handed it off up the middle, and so did most of the defensive line.
Yeah, that is an aspect of this game that he does so well. He usually has about 2 or 3 of those games where he rips it off for about 40 or 50 yards. Luckily, a touchdown-saving tackle was there, or else we would be having another 6 points up on the board right now.
Okay, and here we go again as Hayes is under center. And he's going to hand it off to Dixon, who powers his way through, and he is still going. He's carrying defenders, and he's all the way down to the 33-yard line. And so huge run there. Man, and this is what we come to expect.
Yeah, that was a nice hole right there, but right now the Hornets are tackling way too high right now. And if you try to, arm tackle Jonathan Dixon, you're going to end up on the wrong end of that business every time. So great job by Dixon by keeping the legs churning and picks up another first down for the Bobcats.
And so he's just untackleable as they were trying everything to try to get him down, but he was trying everything to stay up, and so he picks up a little bit more there on that play, and so that's going to be a nice little chunk of yards there. It's going to be 2nd and 6 on the 30-yard line now.
And he is the reason why this offense can be so dangerous because he obviously gets a lot of attention in the middle. Then you have Hayes who can, have that nice little fake that around the outside, and then we've already seen what Johnny Porter can do in this game. So the Bobcats, even though it doesn't look that dynamic, it is a very dynamic offense, and certainly giving the Hornets a lot to think about right now.
And so Hayes, he keeps it himself, and he faked it to Dixon, and he's going to pick up a nice little chunk of change there.
Yeah, he
chunk
does.
Of yardage, and so he's going to almost have the first down. It's going to be a 3rd and short now.
Yeah, now the key to limiting Hayes will be what Dallas Collins did right there from his outside linebacker spot, which is setting that edge, making a solid tackle, not letting Hayes sneak off and run, bust up another huge run right there. So let's see what the Bobcats come out with 3rd and short.
And so we have a triple set of running backs, and they give it to Dixon, and he cannot be tackled tonight. And so he's going to have enough for the first down and more, and he's going to get down to just about the 16-yard line. And so excellent run yet again.
Yeah.
And both of these teams are proving that they're just as good on both sides of the ball. It's different schemes, but they're getting it done.
Yeah, both of these offenses are very efficient and very capable in their own ways. And it looks like the Bobcats are going to try to continue to put the Hornets in the meat grinder right now. But let's see if this is also – they also do like to run play action here in the red zone, so let's see if that pops up anytime.
And so man in motion, they hand it off to Dixon up the middle, and he's trying to be tackled there. The Enterprise defender was trying to tackle him, but it was a fruitless attempt.
No, not very glorious, but he did hold on to the big bull until the rest of the cavalry came on that one. And that's the only way you can really bring down Jonathan Dixon, which is, hold on tight, wait for the teammates to come.
And so it's going to be a keeper to Tom Hayes, and he's not going to pick up too much yards there, maybe 3. And so they're going to have a 3rd and short yet again. And so should be time to hand it off to your line plunge specialist, Dixon, because all he's got to do is get him the ball. It doesn't matter if they have 5 defenders. He'll just bowl right through them.
Yeah, we'll see if they certainly, obviously Dixon is their short yardage man. Let's see if the Hornets come with some sort of pinch or some sort of double blitz in the A gaps to try to stop that, or if Tom Hayes, the magic man, tries to pull it out to get the first down.
And so Hayes under center, and they have a man in motion.
Oh.
And it might be an illegal formation here. We'll have to see. Maybe a false start.
No, yeah, it looks like, the right guard got a little too antsy from the spot right there and, kind of got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, getting out too early.
And it is going to be a false start against Paradise. And so Paradise is going to go from a 3rd and 1 back. And so here's the referee as they're marching.
Yeah, and it looks like our first penalty of the game could be a very costly one.
And so it's going to be 3rd and 6 now.
Yeah, instead of 3rd and 1. Coach Prince kind of established early in this game that this is, I think in the red zone, it's going to be 4 down territory for this offense. So let's see if Hayes can orchestrate something just to pick up a few more yards and try to give it to the big hammer Dixon on 4th and short.
And so he's going to pass here, and he passes it down the middle. And so it's going to be incomplete as a huge hit on Johnny Porter there. He was looking for the flag, but he didn't get it. And so it's going to be 4th down and 6 now, and we're going to have to see if they can show that 4th down magic like they had their last drive.
Yeah, Porter's certainly looking for the flag, but Zach Trueblood, nice bang-bang play right there to dislodge him from the ball. And now it's going to bring up another critical 4th down, and we'll see if Hayes takes it around the outside, or we see another passing play from this offense.
And so man in motion, and he tosses it out to that man, but he is going to be stifled just around the 8-yard line, so that's not enough to pick up the 1st down, and so they do not convert, and they hand it right back to Enterprise as these fans are going nuts.
Yeah, the Hornets taking a little bit of a page out of the Bobcat playbook on defense, bending but not breaking, squeezing that field position down to limit the speed and the strength of that running game. Nice job there by the Hornets defense to come up with a big stop early in this first quarter.
And so just about 26 seconds left in this quarter, and Paradise cannot get it done on 4th down, so they hand it right back to Enterprise. And with what both of these teams are doing, we might see another score here before the end of the quarter.
26 seconds left. They both got a touchdown left in them, I think.
Right, and so it's going to be a handoff to the right-hand side, and he is going to miss one defender, but the second one gets him. But nice little chunky yardage there is going to net him just about 6 yards. It's going to be a 2nd and 5.5, I'd say.
Yeah, it looks like the Hornets found something sweet on that right side of the offensive line. The last time Woods went to the right side there, he was scampering for a touchdown, made a nice little 5-yard pickup there.
And that's going to do it here for this first quarter.
At the end of the first quarter, Enterprise 14, Paradise 13.
And so we're all tied 14-14. Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. I'll let you read the next one, Nick.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly can't wait for the second quarter to get started again, because this was promised to be, a championship boxing match between these two, and they've certainly proven it so far here.
And it looks like two heavyweights going out there, and we do have some updates on the other game that's going on right now, the Division II championship in Sutter.
Oh, okay. So we just had actually a new update here, and it looks like West Valley is trailing Sutter right now, 7-6. They just scored a touchdown, and as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, 2 of the Hornets' losses this year came to Sutter, currently undefeated, number 1 seed in the Division II playoffs, and West Valley, another very formidable team that we saw actually up in Corning a few weeks ago. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up winning that game, because Sutter has been pretty dominant throughout most of the season in Division II.
And so we're ready again. Here is the start of the second quarter, and they switch positions on the field now, and Enterprise has the ball, and he hands it off. To Isaiah Matthews on the carry, and so that's going to be enough for a first down. And so good vision there to get it past the first down marker, and they're going to have it right at the 20-yard line now, 1st and 10. And so it's going to be a handoff to Travis Hall on the left-hand side, but he is tripped up, and no gain on that play, maybe just a half a yard. And so it's going to be a 2nd and 9 now.
Yeah, that was a nice play right there by Eric Jensen. The Hornets trying to test the exterior of that defense, and he comes up to make a nice play to limit it to just a 2-yard game. Let's see if, the Bobcats got burned in man-to-man coverage earlier. It looks like they're going to be sitting in the zone right now.
And it looks like Enterprise is taking their time down there. They're trying to slow down the tempo. It's going to be a pass out to the right, and it's going to be caught, and he has the sideline, and he is going to be brought down right around midfield, and so an excellent play there, as it's going to be at least a 30-yard reception. And that was Travis Hall on the reception there, so good vision by Zach Trueblood to thread the needle, as it were, and he threw it right where a defender wasn't, right over his head.
Yeah, he dropped it. He really did just drop it right in the bucket right there. Nice play design to leak Hall out in the wheel route. Just puts it right in the nice place, and it's another first down for the Hornets.
And so he put just enough mustard on the hot dog, as you like to say. And so it's going to be
Jonathan Dixon, Tyler Rockwell, number 3, making the tackle.
And we don't have his number on our roster, but we'll get it. And so it's going to be a handoff to number 20 up the middle, and he breaks away from a tackle, and he's very close to the first down marker. He might even have it now as he pushes it down to just about the 34-yard line. And so an excellent run there by Brad Woods.
Yeah, and what I'm really liking out of this Hornets offense right now is they're putting a lot of man in motion, coming out with a lot of different formations. That's really unsettling this Bobcats defense, which has played scrappy, very scrappy at times, but they're definitely back on their heels right now. And we've seen a lot of wing back formations, a lot of just simple spread formations out of this Hornets team. And it looks like actually we're going to have a timeout here by Coach Trueblood to talk something over. PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
Lives where?
Right here, actually.
Right here.
So
we've been treated to a very good ball game here as we're in the middle of the second quarter now, and the first quarter proved to be very explosive, 14 apiece for both of these clubs.
Yeah, that's right. Jonathan Dixon started the touchdown party off with a nice 10-yard scamper to start things off, and then Travis Hall sent the Hive erupting with about an 80-yard kickoff return to answer back, and ever since, these two teams have been just trading blows. And it looks like Trueblood took a timeout, sensing that this is an important possession, knowing that you can take the lead for the first time in this game here. So making sure that, you have your ducks all lined up in a row in this next series.
And so Zach Trueblood took a timeout, and with Darren Trueblood, the coach, and so the Truebloods were kind of putting together their minds there in that little timeout, as it's going to be a handoff off to the left-hand side, and he's going to scamper along the sidelines just about to the 30-yard line, and that was Brad Woods again. And so Brad Woods is proving to be an excellent asset to this Enterprise squad on the ground, as he is netting up the yards real quick.
Yeah, and both defenses really haven't been tackling that well. The Hornets haven't really matched the strength with Dixon, and Woods has been elusive for most of the game for the Bobcats. So let's see if the tackling picks up here.
And so it's going to be out to Woods again, and he's going to be tackled just around the 27-yard line. And so he's going to have a 3rd and short here, 3rd and 2. And so it is manageable. And so good job by Woods to get him closer to that first down marker.
Yeah, and this is really a downs and a field position where the Bobcats got burned a lot in their last game, got burned in the soft spot in the zone right behind the linebackers and in front of the safety. So we'll see if the Hornets take advantage of that once again, but it looks like the Bobcats might be playing man.
And so he's going to hand it off to the left-hand side, and he has the outside, and it is going to be a touchdown. And so a 27-yard touchdown run by Brad Woods is going to have Enterprise take the lead here in the second quarter. And so we've been treated to an excellent ball game so far.
Yeah, and I feel really bad for Tyler Burrows, an excellent running back for the Bobcats, but he left his jockstrap there on the field when Woods just juked him out on that one. And Woods, once again, proving elusive for a 27-yard scamper.
So a good play, and so now we're waiting for the extra point attempt, and they are going to kick it. And so that potentially going to put them up by 7 here. And it is good, so it's 21-14, Enterprise. And so this game is awesome.
Simply put, Frank, I think I completely agree with you right there. It could be to the point if, these two teams keep going at it, it's going to be who's going to get the ball last.
Right.
And
so, it's a battle of attrition that way. If both teams are just going to keep scoring points, it might come down to possession.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll see. It could either come down to that or who really makes the first big defensive play in this game. Both defenses look, pretty off-settled. Looked like they were studying maybe another team, this last week in the film session. But I think both coaches came out with excellent offensive game plans. And like I said, I'm really loving the balance I'm seeing out of the Hornets right now, and it's really the reason why they're so successful.
And so we've seen a lot of big plays on offense, but we haven't really seen that one big play on defense yet, as both of these teams are not very prone to turnovers. So we'll have to see here, as it's going to be Machado. Matt Machado on that one. He's going to take it down to just about the 20-yard line. Just about the 21.
Yeah, no turnovers so far in this game, and only one penalty so far. So a pretty clean game so far. Just a lot of Northern section fireworks so far in this one, which I'm not going to be complaining at all about that.
And this field is proving to be pretty quick here, as the play is stopped dead by the officials, and there is a flag, and so it might be a false start.
There I go jinxing it right there, you know. God. I'll just keep my mouth shut for most of the night, the rest of the night with penalties, because this has been a very entertaining game so far.
And so it's going to make it 1st and 5 now.
Yeah, let's see if this Hornet defensive line can get low and finally blow back that offensive line.
And so they're going to try a big push here with Dixon, and he's going to be pulled down from behind, but not before he picks up just about 5 yards, and I think he has enough for the first down, and he does, as indicated by the referee down there. And so Jonathan Dixon proving to be a valuable asset to this Bobcats team.
Yeah, he's really come alive here, especially in the second half of the season. Had a huge game against Pleasant Valley a couple weeks before playing Enterprise, and he's really been full steam ever since.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Matt Machado on the right-hand side, and he picks up 3 yards or so. So it's going to be a 2nd and 7 at right around the 35-yard line, right at the 36-yard line. And there's 7:40 left in this half. And so Paradise down by a touchdown. So they're looking to tie it all up yet again. And like you said before, they've just been trading blows here.
Yeah, but this is a down and distance that the Hornets really need to capitalize on right now.
And so it's going to be a keeper, Tom Hayes, and he has the outside, and he tries to juke one defender, but he's just going to be brought out of bounds there. And so Hayes, with the good little run there, is going to bring him past midfield, and he's going to be just around the 46-yard line now. So an excellent run.
Yeah.
Good vision also.
Yeah, and that's why I really reference Tom Hayes as the spark plug of this offense. You know, Dixon might be the pistons, Porter the accelerator, but he's the one that really makes the big play to get them the first downs like that.
And so it's going to be a handoff up the middle, but he's not going to get very far. It's only a yard and a half.
It looks like Dixon is coming up a little gingerly after that last run. Let's see. Hopefully he can just shake that injury off and continue to play. But that's what the Hornets need to do, though. It's not necessarily hurt Dixon, but really just kind of grind him down, and so he's not as potent as a threat in the running game.
And so with a very quick little snap here, he hands it off to Dixon. And he's going to get stuffed at just around the 43-yard line. And so just a couple of yards there pick up. So 3 yards, and so it's going to be a 3rd and 6, excuse me.
Yeah, and the battle of 3rd down has really proven pivotal so far in this game. The last time the Bobcats faced a 3rd down, they picked up a penalty, which kind of put them out of short running game range. So let's see what they do here.
And so it was a fake handoff, and Tom Hayes has it himself, but the defense snuffs it out. And so they do not convert on 3rd down, and so they're facing another 4th and 5 here, their 3rd of this game. And we'll have to see if they're going to go for it or if they're going to try to punt it and try to pin down Enterprise inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice play call there by the Bobcats. Letting Dixon pick up the block. It looked like Hayes was going to have it, but nice job by the exterior of that Hornets defense to really close it down and force a big 4th down right here. So it looks like the Hornets are going to have one man back here just in case, because what could happen here is Hayes could do a little quick kick, try to catch the Hornets snapping. So let's see what they do here. Looks like they are indeed going to punt it away.
And so Matt Machado with the punt. An excellent punt it was, as they pin him inside the 20-yard line, just about the 14-yard line, and so they have a huge field to work with now, and that Paradise defense comes back onto the field, and Enterprise is looking to keep this lead going and try to kind of run away here.
Yeah, this is a very big possession right here for both these teams. Obviously, for Enterprise, you want to put your foot on the accelerator, extend this to a 2-touchdown lead, because the Bobcats, even though they're very efficient and very capable of coming back, it's an offense that doesn't work as efficient down by 2 or 3 touchdowns as it is up by 2 or 3 touchdowns. So this could be a watershed moment in this matchup we have here.
And so we're going to see a timeout here with 5:10 left in the half. And they're looking at a 1st and 10 on the 14-yard line. And so by that excellent punt. A little coffin corner action. And so we're just going to have to see Zach Trueblood and company see what they can do. And like you said, this is a pretty big possession here. And the coach's job is to let the players know that this is a big moment in this game.
Yeah.
And, if they don't already. And so with that, I'm excited to see what they're going to do here.
Frank, what really impresses me about this game tonight is here are two teams, two of the best teams, in the northern section, but they come into this championship game 8-3, both of them apiece, and it really speaks to the parity that we saw in the Eastern Athletic League this year, because Chico could have been right there with their dual threat quarterbacks. Red Bluff looked like they could have been a team that could have caught, fire at the end of the season. And, it's just impressive that these teams were able to ride the gauntlet at the number 1 and 2 seeds and find their way into this championship game. And it's been a pleasure to watch all season.
And especially these two teams, with how close the outcomes have been, the overtime wins. And so we might be treated to an overtime game today, hopefully.
Well, we'll see. We got a lot of time left before that, and I'm sure both these teams aren't done scoring quite yet, especially for the Hornets. They really need to go up by 2 scores here to really force the Bobcats into a desperate situation.
And so Brad Woods off to the left-hand side is going to pick up just about 4 yards, so it's going to be a 2nd and 6 on the 18-yard line now, as Trueblood is under center, and they're in an I form. And he hands it off to Woods, who has a lane, and he gets through it, and he has enough for the first down. And so Brad Woods, like we said before, is proving to be very elusive in this game, and he's having a good game so far. And so under 5 minutes to go, that's going to put them on the 26-yard line.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic game, and also 72, Brandon Evers, playing on both sides of the ball, but is really making some nice holes on the right side of that offensive line. And he is a very, you can understand why, being at 6'7", 255. I haven't played football in a few years, but I wouldn't mind running behind that any day.
Yeah,
so
right.
Let's see if they keep pounding away at that right side.
And so we're waiting for Trueblood under center, and he hands it off. It's pretty much the same play there as he bounces off a defender, and he's going to pick up another good chunk of yards here, about 5 or 6, about 5.5, I'd say. And so good running on first down is going to net a 2nd and short, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, 2nd and 4 here. And if you're the Hornets, your playbook is wide open. And if we've already seen them test the secondary early in this game, so let's see if they do go deep once again.
And so we'll see Trueblood calling a little audible action as we have a handoff up the middle, but it's going to be a keeper. But Paradise was all over that one. And so they're going to have a 3rd and short now as he only picks up 2 yards. It's going to be a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and Zane Kiefer Fulton right there, staying at home, not biting on the double fake there by Trueblood and making a big tackle. Let's see what the Hornets style up here on 3rd and short. I would imagine, Woods has been running pretty nicely on that right side of the offensive line. Let's see if they continue to do that, and let's see maybe if the Bobcats can dial up a blitz here.
And so the fans are going nuts here as they're hitting it down, and he passes it, but he misses, and it's going to be picked off. Man, a great play there, and he's going to go down about midfield. And Tyler Burrows with the interception there, and so a mistake by Trueblood as he overthrows his receiver and right into the hands of Tyler Burrows.
Yeah, he just did not see Tyler Burrows playing center field right there from the safety position. A nice job by Burrows, after getting burned by Woods on that last touchdown to make a big play for his team and really save the Bobcats from possibly going down 2 scores. So it looks like there might have been a holding on the return on the interception return right there. But
So that's going to push Paradise back some yards now. But Paradise does have the ball with 3:01 left in this half. And so there's the turnover we were talking about that we were waiting for.
yeah, the first really big defensive play of the game right there, and it goes in favor of the Bobcats.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Dixon, who does have some room, and he he almost broke that one off. But he gets the first down and more as he crosses midfield just about the 49-yard line now. And so that'll stop the clock temporarily as we're under 3 minutes. And so they're going into Enterprise territory now.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Prince, I'm sure he's going to try to squeeze as much clock as he can, especially with Enterprise getting the ball back in the second half.
And so it's going to be another handoff, but it's only going to be a couple of yards on this one as defensive line was all over that one. And good vision by Dallas Collins, the defender, the linebacker there.
Yeah, this is also, obviously Coach Prince would love to grind out the clock, but this is Johnny Porter range for a big play as well.
And so it was going to be a carry there, but he's brought down in the backfield. And so he's going to lose just about 2 yards to the original line of scrimmage. And so it's going to be a 3rd and long now, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, beautiful play there by Skylar Ferguson, come up from his defensive end spot, and he does have the muscle at 237 pounds to go toe-to-toe with Dixon, so made a nice open field tackle on the big horse right there.
And so it's going to be 3rd and 9 on the 48-yard line now, and under 2 minutes as the clock is running now. And so he's going to pass here. Tom Hayes passes it down the field, and it is going to be caught. Pass is complete to Tyler Burrows, so Tyler Burrows doing it on both sides of the ball here, and he's going to take it down to just about the 26-yard line. So an excellent reception there.
Yeah, excellent reception. They leaked Tyler Burrows out from his little wingback position, and no one from the secondary and the Hornets noticed that. And then it's another huge gain for the Bobcats. So they're once again knocking on the door.
And so a minute and a half left now as the clock continues to run. And it's going to be a handoff to Machado on the right-hand side, number 25. And he's still up, but they called it dead on the forward progress. And he can't be too happy about that because he never actually was down.
No, he saw a lot of real estate on that right side. And fortunate for the Hornets, his forward progress was stopped there momentarily. And, sometimes as an official, it's just a judgment call when the play is actually dead. Some officials keep that play going, others don't. Unfortunately, the Hornets live to see another play.
And so 2nd and 7 on the run as it's going to be a pitch out to the right-hand side. And that was going to Johnny Porter. And there's 40 seconds left in this game, and clock is still winding down. So it's going to be a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that's the fourth time.
Less.
That's the fourth time we've seen Johnny Porter on that sweep play. The first couple of times, Porter is very successful, including that 65-yard scamper in the first quarter. But it looks like the Hornets have bottled that up nicely the last few plays. So just as we said, this drive, the Hornets drive was a watershed moment. This is also a big watershed moment in this game for the Bobcats, who look to tie things up here heading into halftime.
And so with 41 seconds on the clock left in this half, timeout has been called as both teams are going to mull it over here and talk about it, try to get on the same page. And this is a huge moment for Paradise because if they come back and tie it up before the half, carries a lot of momentum into the 3rd quarter.
Right. You definitely need to get a touchdown here, especially with Enterprise receiving the ball to start the second half. You want to be on an even keel with them, not down 2 scores. Obviously True Blood got a little too excited on that last pass play of his, kind of sailed it into the arms of Tyler Burrows. And I think Coach Prince is rallying his offense, telling them, hey, boys, you know what? This is time to put it in the end zone, tie it up. Let's go into halftime, try to win a championship in the second half.
3rd and 3 on the 19-yard line as they hand it off to Dixon. And he is going to break all kinds of tackles, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. So Jonathan Dixon, the 19-yard rushing touchdown, is going to almost tie it here, 21-20 now. And so, like we've seen in this first entire this whole half, that it's just blow after blow after blow against both of these heavyweight teams. And so 34 seconds on the clock. And wow, Jonathan Dix is putting up a championship night tonight.
Yeah, he's really has played on fire so far in this first half, which is surprising because the Hornets actually did a considerably well job the last time these two teams played. Dixon only had one touchdown the last game. Now he's already got a double dose of them in this game so far. So we'll see. Maybe maybe the Hornets have a little bit of some special teams fire left in them to end the half here, which would be a pretty spectacular end of the half.
And so it's all tied up with that. The point after was, and so 21-21 now. Game is tied. It's a brand new ball game yet again, and it seems like every possession we're saying that.
Yeah.
As every possession has proven to be has a touchdown attached to the end of that drive, usually. And when they don't make a touchdown, the other team doesn't make a touchdown either. So, like you said, this all can come down to possession. And like I said before, the war of attrition.
Yeah, no love lost between these two programs, and there's certainly showing that tonight. Eager to beat the other. This is eager to beat each other in this, newly formed rivalry between these two teams.
And so the players are just about ready. The referees are, as the whistle indicates. And we're just about ready as Jay Dance is back to kick here and back to return it. And so it's going to be short little kick there. Not sure what was going on there. But it is going to be Enterprise's ball at just about the 48-yard line. And so Paradise gives them great field position. And there's enough time on the clock to make a real drive towards the end zone.
Yeah, it looks like the Bobcats are trying to keep it out of Travis Hall's hands there on the return, not letting him get any speed. But it looks like that plan kind of backfired. And the Hornets do have unbelievable field position here with 29 seconds left. So let's see if they can capitalize on it.
And so Trueblood out of the shotgun, he hands it off to Brad Woods, and he's going to try to get out to the outside. But he's ran out of bounds, and not before he picks up just about a yard. So 22 seconds left.
Yeah, that's a great run right there by Brad Woods. Obviously didn't pick up a huge yards, but had the frame of mind to run out of bounds, stop the clock. Actually didn't lose any yards right there as well. Yeah. So no harm, no foul. We'll see if the Hornets try to work the wide side of the field as they have three wide receivers on the bottom of your screen.
And so Trueblood is trying to get notes from the offensive coordinator down on the field.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to look at what the Bobcats are going to come out with and try to make adjustments with it.
And so he's got everybody out on the line, all the receivers, but it's going to be a quarterback keeper as he's going to go down just about the 44-yard line. And so an interesting play there, showing pass, but then it was actually a quarterback keeper. And I have to imagine that was designed. That was a designed play there. And so they're going to call another timeout here. Enterprise, 5 seconds left to go.
Yeah, it looks like the Bobcats were sitting, deep in their coverage, expecting a long pass. So Coach Trueblood tried to, dial up the quarterback screen, hopefully try to get the first down, which would have, stopped the clock so Trueblood could, spike the ball. They can save that timeout, but it looks like they're going to burn that one right there. And with about, we've got 5 seconds left here. We are definitely primed to see something, hopefully see something spectacular on this play right here. Because it's been a spectacular first half between these two teams so far.
And I'm guessing they're going to probably go one more shot towards the end zone. You only have time for just about one more play.
If you do have that hook and ladder in your playbook, this is an excellent, time for it. Some sort of gimmick play. You got to be careful, though, because you don't want to give up a big interception and have someone run it back the other way. But
right.
It looks like the Bobcats are going to go in their prevent defense, having 5 guys back.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 2 with just about the 44-yard line. As they better hurry up here before they get a delay of game, but I think they'll be okay. as he has. And so he fakes the pass and then hands it off up the middle. And so he's going to try to get through, and he bounces off of defenders, and he hands it off to number 10, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. And so amazing play, a little gimmick play there, and that's going to make this crowd go wild. Oh, wow.
Looks like the Hornets.
Taylor Holman. Oh, man. And that was one of the best plays I've ever seen in high school football. So as the second half expires here, man, Enterprise is going to go up.
Yeah, breathtaking there. As we said, it would be a time for a gimmick play, and it looks like the Hornets went with a little Statue of Liberty right there. Trueblood faking the throw, Woods having a nice run, and having the presence of mind to lateral the ball before he goes down. So
the kick is up and good. It's 28-21 now. And this has just been an amazing game, the first half, and I hope it keeps up for the second half.
Well, I don't know what we've gotten a little bit of everything in this first half here, Frank, and obviously that's a discouraging end for the Bobcats, but what a fantastic play right there to end the half, and that's just giving me goosebumps to start the second half.
And so since halftime has started, that's the end of the first half of play, with the Enterprise Hornets leading the Paradise Bobcats by a score of 28-21 on a huge play right there at the end of the half. We'll be back in a few moments with a PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Don't go anywhere. It's championship football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. Welcome to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show, coming to you from the Enterprise Community Stadium in Redding, California. I'm Frank D'Arienzo alongside Nick Dobis, as always, and we've been treated to an excellent ball game here as our halftime score is the Enterprise Hornets up by a score of 28, and Paradise has a score of 21, and we've just been treated to one heck of a ball game here. And so a lot of scoring, a lot of good offensive plays, and Statue of Liberty play at the end here with a nice little lateral.
That's right. You don't really see the Statue of Liberty get pulled out of the hat too often, but on a night like this, I think the magic has just begun. And I think both teams have come out and established that say we're going to win this game on the legs of our running backs, because both Woods and Dixon have really asserted themselves in this game, and both teams, as I said, are willing to say we're going to put it on their legs. And I think whoever has the better half this next half is going to lead their team to victory.
And so both teams proving very good on their plays. They're finishing their drives, and almost all of them have been touchdowns. And so we haven't seen a field goal yet.
No,
so
we haven't seen a field goal, and very little mistakes.
It's been a good, clean ball game.
It's been pretty clean, except for the one penalty that Paradise had in that first quarter, which was a 3rd and short, moved it to 3rd and 5. Two penalties in this game. One by Paradise that made it from a 3rd and short to a 3rd and long. They couldn't convert in the red zone, and that eventually led, I believe, to a Hornets score. And then, of course, you had the pick thrown by Zach Trueblood, which led to a Paradise score. So, despite all the offensive power, fireworks we've seen, I still think, whoever makes that big, either defensive play in the second half, or we've seen some fireworks out of the special teams as well. So whoever can make that big play on defense or special teams, I think, will take the advantage.
And I think whoever's going to win this one is going to win it, like you said, on the legs of the running backs. And so we're going to see a lot more running, or actually the same amount of running in this half as we saw in the first half. And so we're just ready. The clock is winding down to the start of the second half.
Yeah, both running backs are Dixon and Woods, both registering 2 touchdowns each. And we'll see if the pace continues at that, if they do go back, or we'll see if these two defenses, which has been, struggling this first half, can make some adjustments to stop each other's running game.
And I think Paradise has more of a triple-headed attack with Tom Hayes, because he is the better athlete out of both of the quarterbacks, and so they're going to have to get him going here. Paradise is going to, and try to get him to spread the field out, and especially on a turf field like this, it plays very fast, and we've already seen it.
There's been no shortage of speed so far in this game, and obviously I think the field is definitely playing into that. Could be definitely a different ball game if this was up in the foothills, considering the amount of rain they got last week, and I was in that game, and oh boy, was it a mud game.
Well, that's going to do it for the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Championship football will return with the start of the second half of this Division I championship game right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Don't go anywhere. You're watching PlayOnSports.com's presentation of championship football live from Redding, California. I'm Frank D'Arienzo, and Nick Dobis is beside me, and we've just had a top-notch first half in this game. It's 28-21. The Hornets are over the Bobcats here.
That's right, and also Sutter and West Valley are getting out of their their halftime, and West Valley is actually just scored a touchdown, and it looks like if you're watching the game on Play on Sports, it looks like they're going to be going for 2 right now. And so we'll see if they tie that ball game up, and it looks like that's going to be a dandy of a championship game as well.
And with the start of the second half, with the kickoff, back to this game, the one that counts. I'm just kidding. And so it's going to be returned. He does have the sideline, and so he's going to bring it close to midfield here. And so excellent return.
And
about 20 yards on that return.
And just to update you, that West Valley did convert on the 2-point conversion, and it is locked up at 14. If you want to catch that game along with this game, you can find out on playonsports.com/northern section right there. So you can watch both of these fantastic games. And but I think most of the fireworks, as I agree, has been in this one.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see some more.
And so that was Abney on the return as Enterprise takes over the offensive duties here.
Yeah.
And the Hornets have been very good in the running game. And so it's going to be a run here by Brad Woods on the outside, and he's just going to stroll out of bounds. And so he picks up a whole heap load of yards here.
And what Brad Woods has done well tonight, and what he's done for most of the season, is making that first tackler miss. He could have gone down there for a big loss of 2 or 3 yards, but instead makes a nice move, gets to the outside, and gives his team a first down.
And so it's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line, and so an excellent run there of just about 13 yards to get down to that point, and it's going to be handed off to the fullback, and that's going to be Isaiah Matthews, who gets just about 4 yards in the play, so good run up the middle.
Yeah, Frank, and we talked about momentum so far in this game, and neither team, I should say, has really been able to steal the momentum and firmly put it on their side. Enterprise has a tremendous opportunity to do that here and look for that 2-touchdown lead that they were looking for at the end of the first half.
And so we're waiting for instructions to be put onto the field as the quarterback, Trueblood, gets down under center now. One back, and it looks like it's going to be a little isolation play for the running back, and that was Woods on the carry, and he gets closer to the first down marker, and it's going to be a 3rd and 2 at just about the 31-yard line now.
Yeah, the Hornets have gone to that right side of the offensive line early and often in this ball game, continuing to do so now. It looks like they're going to line up in the same formation, possibly even run the same play. We'll have to see right here.
And so Woods, the single back here, and it is going to be the same exact play, but he does slip on the field, in the backfield here, so he's going to lose just about 2 yards on the play. So they're going to have a 4th and 5 now. I'd say 4th and 4. I'm not really good at that, as Ron mentioned during the halftime show. And so,
well, this is a huge decision here by Trueblood. Obviously, Coach Prince went for it on 4th down, both times near and in the red zone. It looks like the Hornets are going to do that right here.
And so he's going to go back and pass it over the middle of the field, and it's going to be intercepted. So Paradise intercepts it for his 2nd time, and he's going to try to get down to midfield, and that's exactly where he ends up. And so excellent vision there. So it's Johnny Porter getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. And so that was an excellent play there. And Trueblood fires it to the middle part of the field, but a little miscue with his receiver, and it ended up in Paradise's hands.
Yeah, a bit of a miscue, and actually Zeph King made a very nice play to put the pressure on Trueblood to make the bad throw and give Paradise a golden opportunity here, but we'll see what the penalty is.
And so that's a turnover and a takeaway by the Bobcats. And as we see what the penalty is here, and it's going to be an offsides against Enterprise. And so somebody jumped off the line there.
And that's what we were kind of talking about at the start of the third quarter, is no neither team has really delivered, the crushing blow to really take control of this game. And Paradise fends off, the knockout punch with that interception.
And so it's going to be handed off to Jonathan Dixon, and he's going to fight his way to the first down, and that's his specialty there. So he picks up just about 6 yards on the play, and they're down around the 39-yard line now as the chains move, and Paradise is marching.
Yeah, well, Dixon certainly has been delivering blows all night, and the Hornets have done a better job as the game has gone on of tackling. They still need to continue to tackle low at his legs and tackle in bunches.
And so it's going to be another handoff to Dixon up the middle, but they are waiting for him that time, and he only picks up just about 1.5 yards, and so down around the 37-yard line now.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need, is having 3, 4, even 5 Hornets on the ball whenever Dixon has it. The young man really hasn't worn down too much this season when he's been carrying the ball, but the Hornets need to do their best to do so. If not, to tire him, at least limit his runs to about 2 to 3 yards rather than the 5, 6, 7, 8-yard runs he's had for most of the night.
And so that's going to prove huge for the. And so I'm not sure what happened there, as they went up to touch the ball, but then the defense jumped on it.
Yeah, it looks like the center went up to put his hand on the ball. And it's going to be a false start.
That's going to be construed as a false start by the referee. And so it's going to push him back here. And it's going to be a 2nd and 16.
Yeah, I think the Enterprise faithful wanted the ball right there. But unfortunately, it does result in a false start or a false snap by the center is the call right there.
And so this whole play started with a True Blood interception. And this is True Blood's 2nd multi-interception game of the year. The last one was to Sutter, who's in our Division II championship, where he threw 4. And so he is susceptible. And so he passes it down to Johnny Porter, and he gets away, and he's going to go in for a touchdown, a 43-yard touchdown reception for Johnny Porter. And excellent decision there by Tom Hayes to get it into the hands of his best receiver. And he marches it down the field. It's 27-28 now, and we're going to see an extra point, and it looks like they are going to kick it. So they're going to be content with tying up this game, and so an excellent run.
And as you said, Frank, Tom Hayes was the one who really needed to take over this ball game in order to give the Bobcats a solid chance, and he does it right there, threading the needle between the defenders and letting Johnny Porter what he does so well, which is breaking coverage and running into the end zone.
And so with the extra point attempt successful, it's going to be a 28-28 game now with 8:37 left in this third quarter. And so Paradise able to capitalize on the interception, on the turnover. And so they did an excellent job. I mean, they intercepted it just around, they got back to just around midfield, so that was a 50-yard drive. And so an excellent run. They only made it 7 yards, and then they just threw it to Johnny Porter, and he broke it off.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the start of the half that you did not want if you're the Hornets. You wanted to come out assert.
The hush has come over the crowd.
Yeah, it's probably the quietest it's been all game right now. But obviously, you still have a chance here to get that lead back and try to establish momentum once again. You have a very capable offense. You've been getting great field position because of the kick return by Hall earlier in the first quarter. So let's see if the Bobcats elect to give him excellent field position again.
And so the kick is up, and they try for a onside kick, but he just ends up spiraling the ball. And so it's going to be a flag on the field now.
You hardly ever see that, though. That was kind of freaky how that ball kind of spun like a bottle cap back to the line of scrimmage. But interesting call there by the Bobcats to try to go for the onside kick. Try their own little trickeration on special teams. Fortunately, it kind of backfired right there, and now the Hornets are fully aware of it.
And so they're going to back up 5 yards. And I think that was a legal motion or a legal procedure. And so we're going to see him kick it from the 35-yard line now, and they might have to try a different strategy here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go with a little pooch kick or a little flare to about the 35-yard line, try to kick it to one of the up backs who is not as capable as Travis Hall is.
And so here we go with the kick, and the kick is away, and it's going to be fielded just about the 20-yard line, and he breaks through, and he's almost to midfield, and so an excellent return that time by Brad Woods. And so we've certainly called his name all game tonight. And so an excellent job. And he's slow to get up down there on the field, but he might just be tying his shoe. We'll have to see there. And he pops right back up. So
I'm sure there was a lot of anxious Hornets fans kind of making sure he does get back up because he's been so key. And they really, they really need to go back to him because, Zach Trueblood obviously needs to shake off the 2 interceptions he's had. But a good way to do that is to reestablish that running game, get the offense comfortable, and set something up nice for Trueblood the next time.
And so we're going to go with a 4-receiver set. And so he's going to hand it off to Woods in the backfield, but he's only going to pick up just about 2 yards. And so that's been the same play they've been running all game.
Yeah, very nice tackle there by Zane Kiefer Fulton. We've rung his bell a couple times tonight, doing a nice job of working that perimeter right there, along with Tom Hayes. The quarterback also getting his nose dirty on the play.
And so Paradise bearing down with that big defensive line as they show blitz here. And he's going to throw it out. It's a little bubble screen. And he's going to try to make something out of it, but the defense is going to prove to be too much. And so Kiefer Fulton on the play there. And so that's going to push him back past the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 3rd and long now.
Yeah, it almost looked like the Hornets are trying to set up possibly a double pass or some sort of reverse on that play. And I think the initial play was successful because they beat the blitz, but looks like he was trying to maybe do a double pass or something tricky as well, and it just kind of didn't work out in their favor. Now this is a very critical 3rd down here for the Hornets. Let's see what they dial up here to try to get the first down.
And so it's going to be a pass down the field, and he converts it this time to Taylor Angley Holman. And no flag on the play. And so very clean football here, and he's going to get it down to about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and that was the area where the Hornets really burned the Bobcats the first time these two play, is that soft spot in the zone right behind the linebackers, and they've capitalized on it once again for the big first down.
And so Zach Trueblood, true to form here as he converts to Taylor Angley Holman. And so it's going to be Brad Woods, and he's going to try to beat the outside coverage, but he's not going to make it, and he's actually going to lose yards here. So he loses just about 2 yards on the play. It's going to be a 2nd and long.
Yeah, Brad Woods once again being elusive, shaking off that first tackle, but good pursuit by the Bobcat defense to limit it and put him in the backfield. And it's going to be 2nd and long now. And unfortunately, that's going to limit. We'll see what they come out with here. I know they've been trying to pass on 2nd and 3rd and long, but with Woods running the ball as well as he has in the first half, you certainly want to try to get him going again.
And so Enterprise is going to take a timeout. PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us on PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And so we mentioned here, it's just an excellent game. We've been treated, certainly, and it's 28-28, and we're gearing up for an excellent finish. And so what can you speculate what will happen? And I think it's probably just going to be the same old, same old.
Well, it needs to be the same old here for the Hornets. Brad Woods has had a great game running the ball so far, and you don't want to put yourself in a 3rd and long by having an incomplete pass. So let's see if they can try to run the ball here with Woods, particularly on that right side where they've had some success in this game, to try to make it a more of a 3rd and manageable situation.
And so we'll see an I form here as we have one receiver out on the top of your screen. As we see a little motion here, and it's gonna be a play action. He's gonna throw it down the field, but it's going to be tipped into the hands of a Bobcat defender, and so that's going to be his third interception of the game. And Zach Trueblood throws it to his receiver, but it goes through his hands and ends up in the hands of Tyler Rockwell. Nope, I'm sorry, Tom Hayes, Paradise's quarterback, and so he's getting it done on both sides of the field there. And so Zach Trueblood's going to throw his third interception of this game. And like we mentioned before, that's going to be a problem for Enterprise, and they're going to have to clean that up just somehow. As Paradise is ready to go here, and they hand it off to Dixon, who has been a force to be reckoned with here as he picks up yet another 6 yards. And so they're marching towards midfield, and the ball is just about the 38-yard line.
Frank, we mentioned at halftime we're going to see which team really steps up on defense to give their team a chance. And even though Paradise has had an excellent first half on offense, their defense is really bearing down right now, coming up with 2 huge turnovers to get them back in this game.
And I think the real test would be them converting on those turnovers. And so it's Machado, and he breaks through the secondary, and he has one to beat, and he beats them both, and he's going to go into the touchdown, into the end zone. Man, an excellent play. And so that's going to be a 62-yard touchdown run by Machado. And so they capitalize immediately on the turnover. It is now 34-28. Paradise now has taken the lead. And wow, I mean, I'm speechless here.
Yeah, I think most of the Hornet faithful are as speechless. As speechless as you right now, Frank, because the turnovers for the Hornets have really costed them right now. Each time they've turned over the ball, it has led to a Bobcat score. So that's not a good ratio that you want if you're the Hornets. Very dangerous, fragile time now for this team. Let's see if they can kind of regroup, get that running game going, and see if Zach Trueblood can kind of get his head back in the game on this one, because they're gonna need his arm to get back into it.
So with 5:19 left here in this third quarter, Bobcats have taken the lead now, and with that extra point, it's going to push their lead up to 35-28 now. And so Paradise Bobcats proving to be very good off the turnover, but down here at about the 10-yard line, they could have had
Machado wrapped up right there, but the defender tried to go for the strip, which is a heads-up play. But as a tackler, you need to make sure you get the hit in first, then you strip the ball, because you want to give your defense at least a chance to make a goal line stand, and they don't do right there.
What I was always taught is put the face mask in the numbers, and it'll work every time. And they went for the strip, it didn't work out, and touchdown city. And so it's going to be Woods to return it here. And he breaks through again, and he's having a good return game this game. And so he's at the 38-yard line, and so a pickup of just about 25 yards or so.
Now, we talked about watershed moments early in the first half with teams, and both teams certainly rode the storm that they faced against their opponents. This is probably the most critical drive of the game here for the Hornets, and really a chance for the Bobcats to really lock this one up.
And so a run out to the left-hand side, and that was Woods picking up 3 on the play, Brad Woods.
Yeah, the Hornets need to take a page out of the Bobcats playbook here and just not panic. You still have a ton of time. You're only down by 1 touchdown. Utilize that running game to set up some options in the passing game.
And get it back to tied here, as we're going to have a quarterback keeper, but the defense is going to be all over it. And so Izzy Welch on the sack there. And so with quarterback keeper, they get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 10 now.
Yeah, this Bobcat front, which kind of got picked on a lot in the first half, has really stepped up here. Now coming up with some big stops in the running game, forcing Trueblood to make some arid throws, and the secondary capitalizing on it. And Here we go. Probably the biggest third down of the game so far up to this point. And we'll see if the Hornets can convert.
And so our whole entire booth is shaking now as he looks to throw, but he's just going to throw it out of bounds with the pressure. So good pressure up the middle by the Bobcats is going to push it to a 4th and 9 now.
Yeah, it looks like the Hornets are trying to set up some sort of screenplay, but there was some sort of miscommunication either between the running back or with most of the offensive players on that one, and that's just a wasted play for the Hornets. And unfortunately, it looks like they're going to be giving the ball back to the Bobcats.
And so a stoppage in play by the officials as we find out what's going on. It looks like it's going to be a timeout for Paradise. And so Paradise getting it done on the defensive side of the ball here as they have the lead and they're trying to keep it that way.
Yeah, if you're Coach Prince, I think you're just telling your team, look, we already got fooled with a trick play at the end of the first half. Let's not get fooled here with some sort of silly fake on the punt here to give the Hornets some momentum and a chance. So I'm sure that's what Coach Prince is telling them right now. Stay with your reads. Make sure the punter, gets the ball off, and let's get a solid return to really have a chance to really, kind of take over this game and kind of assert themselves for the first time.
And so the players are back on the field after the timeout now, and it looks like Enterprise is going to punt it away as the Bobcats called a timeout and tried to ice their punter, if you could even call it that. And it's going to be Johnny Porter, but he's going to get hit hard at the knees, and there is a flag on the field. And so we'll have to see what that is. And so the flag.
We'll see which way this penalty goes here. And, that's big. That's big for the Hornets right there. Pushes the Bobcats back a bit into their own red zone. And, as we said, the Bobcats have really capitalized on, some solid defense. This is a perfect opportunity for the Hornets to make a huge turnover right here and give an offense which has struggled so far in the second half some unbelievable field position to get back in this game.
And so right at the 20-yard line, it's going to be 1st and 10 as Hayes is under center. And he's going to hand it off to Dixon yet again on the right-hand side, and he is trying to fight for some yards, but he gets stifled. But they do call it dead with forward progress. And the referees weren't going to let that go on forever, and they get it to just about the 25-yard line. So a nice little 5-yard pickup from Jonathan Dixon as we are under 3 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about, stripping the ball earlier on that last Paradise score. When they have Dixon upright like that, that is the time that you try to, strip the ball right now. He is a big, strong guy, but you need a turnover here desperately.
And so we're going to see a false start here, I believe. And that was Keith McBride who jumped.
Now the Bobcats are kind of getting sloppy here. A couple penalties, which has really pushed them back, and penalties have really kind of held them back a bit in this game as well.
And so with that penalty, that's going to push them back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and 10 now, 20-yard line. And so Bobcats not getting off to a good start on this drive as we're under 3 minutes now as they're ready here. And so it's going to be a handoff to to the outside. Tom Hayes was going to keep that one, so he faked me out.
That's why I've been calling Tom Hayes the magic man all season, because, first you see the ball, then now you don't, and he's got it going around the outside right there. Does a nice job, always does an excellent job of riding out his fakes, whether he has the ball or not, and picks up a critical first down right there.
And so Paradise is ready with the same set they've run all day, like a bunch formation. And he's going to hand it off to Dixon, who's going to get the first down here. And so an excellent run, about 10-yard pickup. And so that's Dixon's specialty. 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards.
Yeah.
We saw it the last time we saw them in Paradise, me and you. And he ran for just about 165 yards in that game.
Yeah, I think that was the game against Foothill where they routed Foothill once again, which seems to be a familiar beat for this team. And you can see this offensive line is starting to assert itself, starting to taste that championship.
And so it's going to be a keeper onto the right side here, and he's going to get down to just about the 46-yard line. And so a good little 3-yard quarterback keeper there by Hayes. And he gets out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock at 2:04. And like we said before, Bobcats are up 35-28 over the Enterprise Hornets.
Yeah, and it looks like Brandon Evers is going to come out of the game for a play just to get a breather, and that's smart because he's kind of getting blown off the line right now.
And so they're going to hand it off to Machado. So Matt Machado is picking up a nice little 2-yard pickup there, and so it's going to be a 3rd and 5 at the 48.
And this is
the fans are getting antsy.
Yeah, and this is a very familiar patience that I've seen out of this Bobcat offense for most of the year. Didn't get to let the penalties rattle them. Coach Prince keeping the playbook very simple, grinding the clock, but they need to pick up a critical 3rd down here to put some more pressure on the Hornets.
And so the crowd is getting very loud here as this is a huge 3rd down stop, and he's going to pass, but he's going to avoid the pressure. He's going to throw it down the field, and it's going to be overthrown. He had Matt Machado open. He had him wide open, and he overthrew it. And so that could have been a touchdown because he was wide open. There wasn't a defender anywhere near him, but just a little bit too much mustard on the hot dog.
Yeah, you're right, Frank. A lot of mustard on the hot dog, but Hayes didn't really have a chance to plant his feet because he had big Casey Gunter blowing through the defensive line to put the pressure on, not letting Hayes settle in and make that nice throw, which certainly could have been another 6 points for this Bobcats. Now they're forced to punt it away.
And so they're going to punt it here. And so Machado with the punt, and he tries to get it out of bounds, and it's going to go out of bounds at just about the 30-yard line. They're around it. Oh, no, they're going to spot it just at the 34-yard line. It's almost close.
Yeah, Travis Hall has certainly put some kinks in the kicking game for the Bobcats ever since that huge kickoff return in the first quarter, trying to keep the ball away from them, but it has given the Hornets some good field position throughout the game. Now, here we go. Once again, this is a time for the Hornets to try to tie this thing up, get the home crowd back into it. Let's see if they can put together their own championship drive right here.
And so Enterprise with the carry to Brad Woods, and he breaks through the line. And so a nice little 7-yard pickup, maybe even 8, depending on where they spot it. And so Woods has proven to be effective in the offensive side of the ball. The only problem has been their turnovers by 3 interceptions by the quarterback, Trueblood. And so they're going to probably look to keep it on the ground for as long as they can, as we're under a minute here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep it on the ground. A lot of football left. You do not want to keep giving the Bobcats opportunities.
And so they're going to hand it off to Woods again, and he has enough for the 1st down now. And so that's going to stop the clock temporarily, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 at just around the 46-yard line.
Yeah, and they've had some nice drives so far throughout this game. They've had 4, 4, and 3 first downs in the respective quarters, and they just need to keep finding a way to stop shooting themselves in the foot with the turnovers right there. So I think if they can play mistake free, they have a good chance of getting back in this game and tying it up.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Zach Trueblood. Oh, I'm sorry, number 6, Travis Hall. But he isn't going to go anywhere. No gain on the play as he tried to cut it out to the right-hand side. But the defense is a little bit too stingy there as we ended the 3rd quarter now. And so Paradise 35-28 over the Enterprise Hornets. And so an excellent 3rd quarter of play by Paradise as A, they take the lead, and B, they hold on to it. So
yeah, and the MVP of that quarter was certainly the Bobcat defense, throwing up a goose egg there in the 3rd quarter, not allowing Enterprise to keep pace. And that's exactly what the Bobcats need to do, going down, 7 points at the half. Made a great defensive stance there in the 3rd quarter, and now they find themselves up 7 points with about 12 minutes away. But, here's a very golden opportunity once again for the Hornets. Kind of try to, crunch that clock a little bit, try to wear it down, get the touchdown, and let your defense make another big stand. And we're going to be giving you an update here from our Division II championship. Sutter is leading West Valley 14-7 in the
17-14.
Excuse me, 17-14 there in the fourth quarter. So Sutter, who has had an excellent season so far, undefeated, trying to remain undefeated against a very scrappy West Valley defense that has a lot of speed on it.
And that's our other crew is producing that as they have a handoff up the middle, and he has just about 3 to beat, and he cuts it back up the field, but he gets hit from behind. And that was Alex Taladino on the run. And so an excellent run there is going to put Enterprise in good position, very close to the red zone now. And so it's going to be 1st and 10 and just around the 28-yard line. And so coming out with the fourth quarter with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, a chip on their shoulder, and finally coming out with a little off speed play there with the counter play. It's been very straightforward so far for this Enterprise offense. Nice little change up there with the counter, catches the Bobcat snooze and gets them a big first down.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Woods, who bounces off of one defender, and he tries to get as many yards as he can. And he does get just about 6 on the play. So an excellent run.
Yeah, excellent run right there, and they just need to keep putting their trust in this running game. Obviously, True Blood's been a little shaky here in that third quarter, but nothing like a nice, solid running game to get the steal the nerves and get him back into it.
And so it's going to be handed off to the fullback. And so he's inside the 20-yard line, inside the red zone now. Isaiah Matthews on the carry.
Now, even though they're knocking on the red zone, this has been, the red zone is where this Bobcats defense has been opportunistic, coming up with big turnovers. So let's see if they can just capitalize on the third down here.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Woods. And so he picks up enough for the first down, and so they're going to have a first down inside the red zone now, at just around the 16-yard line. Yep. And so they're marching down the field right now. It's a good drive.
Yeah, Woods channeling his inner Jonathan Dixon right there, taking about 3 Bobcats with him to that first down marker. And, both of these running backs are running with so much heart and volition, and we'll see if Woods can, take this team in the end zone with some more heart.
And so it's going to be a handoff out to the right-hand side, and he's trying to find an edge. But, wow, Michael Williams comes up on Paradise side and just drills him.
Yeah,
puts it right in his ear hole.
Yeah, both Williams and Porter came flying up from their secondary positions right there, and they've had a pretty good game, securing that perimeter for the most part. Let's see if the Hornets can, try to go back to maybe some counter straight up running plays, because the long sweep plays have been gobbled up for most of the night by the Bobcats.
And so no gain on the play is going to have a 2nd and 10 at the 16-yard line, as we see here. It might be, and it's going to a little inside cross, but Williams comes up big in the backfield there. Jonathan Dixon. He gets the tackle in the backfield. And so an excellent run an excellent defensive play is going to make them lose yards, and so it's going to be a 3rd and 11 now at the 17.
Yeah, the Hornets trying to go back with a little bit of a counter play there, but the Bobcats are certainly ready for it and pounced all over it. And now yet another critical third down here for the Hornets. And you have to think this is a 4-down territory at this point.
And so he's going to try to keep it here, and he gives a little toss out to number 10, Taylor Hallman. And so he had 5 or 6 defensemen in front of him, and he just kind of tossed it over him to Hallman.
Yeah, True Blood certainly running for his life right there. Puts just the perfect amount of touch to put it over the defender and lead his receiver right there and picks up some big yardage.
So huge 4th and 1 coming up right now. This is the watershed moment, like we said, for this drive, and it's all on the line here as the fans are going crazy.
Yeah, and the Bobcats have stacked the box.
And so it's going to be handed off to Woods, but I don't think he got the first down.
Oh, it's going to be awfully close. The Bobcats are pretty convinced.
And he did not get that, as the referee indicates, so they turn it over here to the Bobcats. And that's huge here in the fourth quarter with 8:09 left in this game. And so it's Paradise's game to lose now, as they're going to try to get as much time off of that clock and even try to score again to try to pull away with this one. But that one was probably the most important play of the game so far.
Yeah, and this defense for the Bobcats has really played some very inspiring football here in the second half, making the big plays when they need it and helping out their offense, installing yet another drive for the Hornets.
And so they're jumping down there, but he hands it off to Dixon, who spins away, and he's going to pick up a nice, healthy chunk of yards, just about 8 yards on the play. And so that's been Jonathan Dixon's forte, and they're going to keep giving him the ball, I'm sure, on this drive. As we're under 8 minutes now, it's going to be a 2nd and 2 on the 15-yard line. Yeah,
they're going to be giving the ball to him and the rest of the running backs here to keep crunching that clock. But let's see if the Hornets can, force them into a 3rd and long situation, that predictable passing situation. They could capitalize and either get the turnover or get the ball back here, but they have to win the battle on 1st and 2nd down.
And so here we go. Yet again, it's going to be a handoff to Dixon, who has the outside, and he has enough for the first down, just around the 21-yard line now. And so they're keeping the clock moving. As soon as they get set here, 7:21 on the clock, and they'll start it very shortly. And with the the referee's whistle, it's going to start that clock again. So we're down now in the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, and if you're the Bobcats offensive line, this is a time to assert yourself as that championship offensive line and move the ball efficiently.
And so they give it to Dixon, and he picks up another big chunk of yards, and 9 that time. And so Dixon proving useful here in the fourth quarter, as they are just eating away the clock right now.
Eating away the clock and really starting to wear down that Hornets defense, which has seen a heavy dose of Dixon in this running game all night. And it looks like it's finally starting to take its toll. That offensive line that we just spoke about is finally starting to assert itself here.
And so Paradise taking their time as the fans start stomping the grandstands. And so it's going to be a handoff. It's going to be a keeper. And so the fake handoff to Dixon, and he kept it himself, Tom Hayes. But he got enough on the drive to move the chains yet again, the second time for this drive.
Yeah, and that's such a smart play by him, knowing exactly where the chains are. Didn't try to risk it in that extra yard to, force the fumble or something. Knew exactly that he had the first down, went down. Keeps that clock moving as well. Hits up play there by the quarterback.
And so we're down to just about 6 minutes now in the game. Paradise up 35-28 over Enterprise Hornets. And so it's going to be a handoff to Dixon, who powers his way, and he's still moving those legs, and he picks up another 7-yard chunk, maybe even 6 on the play. And Dixon proving that he can just carry this whole team on his back for this fourth quarter.
Carry the team, and maybe if you throw a couple cheerleaders on there, I bet he can carry those too. What a fantastic game. And regardless of the outcome, that young man has had a fantastic season for the Bobcats and has really, sparked them to why they're back here in this championship game.
And so just about 5:30 left in the game now, as they are marching down the field, and they only have 3 yards to pick up, or actually 2 yards to pick up. Ball's at the 42-yard line, and so it's going to be a keeper there, but it's going to be enough for the first down. And so they get another first down here. 5:22 left in the game.
Yeah, and if the Hornets, the Bobcats are not throwing anything tricky at you. It's very simple. They're just lining up one guy on the outside, saying we're just going to run this thing out and take the championship back to Paradise. If you're the Hornets, you have to start thinking about loading up that box more, sending more people, and forcing the Bobcats into a throwing situation, because they've just been putting this defense in the meat grinder so far.
And so the crowd's getting into it as Dixon has a huge hit, but there's going to be a penalty flag, and it might be a hold.
Which would be big because the one thing that has stopped this Paradise offense has been their penalties tonight. So they can get a big penalty here, kind of force them into a long yardage situation. The Hornets might have a chance to get the ball back.
And so we're going to wait on the official to call here. And it's going to be a face mask, or holding, excuse me.
And that's going to be the 5th penalty on the Bobcats tonight.
And so that's going to push them back 5 yards. It's going to be a back 10 yards, excuse me. And so it's going to be a first and forever right here. But the way they've been running the ball, they've been getting about 7 yards apiece so far.
Yeah, exactly. Dixon, so. You have an offensive line that's been running on all cylinders so far on this drive. You have Jonathan Dixon, who's, been the junior bus for most of the night, and especially on this drive. You don't need to necessarily throw. Try to pick up some manageable yards here on 1st and 2nd down.
And so it's going to be a handoff to Dixon, who's trying to piece together a run here, and he picks up just about 4 on the play. And an update from the other game that's going on, West Valley versus Sutter. West Valley just went up by 4 points.
Wow.
21-17 now in the fourth quarter. So both of these games proving to be excellent.
Yeah, a couple of dandies here in the northern section, and it is really a reflection of the excellent football that we've seen up here, especially, which has been fantastic, especially since this is PlayOn Sports' first year up here in the northern section. What a heck of a first year to get.
And so just about 4 minutes to go, 2nd and 15, as it's going to be a keeper up the middle, and he's going to get a whole bunch of yards there, just about 10 yards, and so it's going to be a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, and
Hayes, 4 minutes.
Yeah, Hayes is getting up pretty slow after that one. I'm sure he just got a couple cobwebs hit loose on that one, so hopefully he can get his P's and Q's together and pick up a big 3rd down here for this team. Now this is not an automatic 1st down run here for the Bobcats. So let's see. Coach Prince likes to go to the play action in this situation, and we've talked about big 3rd downs. Here is the biggest 3rd down of the game right here.
And so these fans are going crazy. They're stomping anything to try to help their team. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and he's going to have enough for the 1st down. And so just about 3 minutes left in the game. It's Enterprise's hopes are fleeting at best now.
Yeah, and what a smart play there by Hayes. Went with the play action. Wasn't a design play, but instinctively saw all the coverage down the field and saw the wide open gap and smartly picks up the 1st down. Huge, probably not his longest run of the game, but definitely his biggest run of the game right there.
And had a lot of weight attached to that run because now they get a 1st down. They're past midfield and under 3 minutes to play here, so they're going to try to take as much time as they can. So barring a turnover. And so Dixon's tripped up and he only picks up about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, and it looks like Enterprise is going to start using their timeouts right here.
And so with that timeout, we'd like you to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game as well as the other one going on in the northern section right now. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And to turn our attention to this game, this has just been one heck of a ball game here. High scoring, but pretty low on the mistakes. I mean, we could have seen a lot more penalties, but
pretty low on the mistakes. But obviously Paradise, you're kind of shaking your head at the penalties, but you got the lead right now, and those 3 turnovers by the Hornets have proven very costly here. It's almost as if we've seen 2 different ball games here, Frank. We saw the offensive explosion there in the first half, but then we've seen a pretty potent and stout performance by this Bobcat defense here in the second half. So we'll see how this one finishes here. And, the Bobcats are looking just to run out the ball in the clock. The Hornets need something miraculous here to get the ball back, or else the Northern Section title will be going back to Paradise once again.
And so Paradise with a man in motion. And he hands it off to Dixon, and Dixon picks up another couple of yards there, and they're going to call another timeout here. So it's going to be a 3rd and 6. And so this is a huge play for Paradise. Absolutely huge, because I don't think they have a leg that could kick a field goal right now at this distance.
No, that is a huge stop right there. Is going to force the 3rd down. And it looks like that's going to be the last timeout that the Hornets have.
Huge play coming up here.
Yeah, very imperative. I wouldn't be, obviously we saw the play action by the Bobcats, the last 3rd down, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it again, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it that Hayes does keep the ball. You don't want to throw the ball here to either stop the clock or give the Hornets a silly turnover. So I imagine they're going to keep the ball on the ground, keep it in bounds, and either, I don't know if Machado really has the leg here to kick a field goal, but you can at least, maybe try a little punt here to give the Hornets a very long field to work with very little time and no timeouts.
And they're going to have to pass it, and Paradise knows that when they pass, interceptions are abound.
certainly in this game, yes.
Yes, so it's the Paradise Bobcats to lose here as everybody stands up on the home side of the field, and they're waiting, and it's Jonathan Dixon, and he just kind of, I'm sorry, it was not Jonathan Dixon, it was a keeper out to the left-hand side, Tom Hayes. Yet again, he's been fooling me all night with that one, but that's going to be a 4th and just about, he had no gain, so it's going to be 4th and 6 on the 39-yard line now, and so just about 2 minutes left in the game. We're going to have to see what Rick Prinz, the Paradise coach, is going to call here.
Yeah, and if you're Rick Prinz, you're going to live with that play because of the exact same reasons we talked about at the timeout. Keeps the clock moving and, doesn't force a silly turnover right there. And we'll see. Yeah, it looks like the Bobcats are going to try to kick this one out of bounds. It looks like we have a penalty here. It could be a delay of game. Frank tried to give his punter a little bit more room here on this kick.
And it is a delay of game. And so I think they meant to do that.
Right. Try to run that clock all the way down, take it down to 0, and you also give your punter here a little bit more wiggle room to try to nail this thing, try to coffin corner it here.
And so 1:45 left in this ball game, and now it's going to change possessions here as we see the punt is away, and it's a pretty good one. It's going to be out of bounds, and we'll have to see where they mark it here. And it's going to be inside the 20.
Oh, no, he looks like he's going to walk it up a little bit more. Yeah, they've been trying to keep the ball away from the Hornet returners for most of the night, and for good reason.
So 1:39 left in this ball game. Enterprise takes over on the 20-yard line, and so they have 80 yards to glory to even just try to tie this thing.
Well, we saw some magic at the end of the first half with not only the Statue of Liberty, but the lateral by Woods on that play to keep it alive and give him the touchdown. We'll see if we have another fantastic finish here and possibly another overtime between these two teams. Looks like they're going to have 3 receivers on the bottom side.
And so it's going to be a pass out, and it is caught right around midfield there, and that's going to be Brock Barr. And so excellent throw right over the defender.
Almost a mirror image of a catch that Brock Barr had in the first quarter right there. And Trueblood, nice ball, just puts it right over the defender's head, right where only his receiver can get it.
And so they're going to be at the 46-yard line, 1st and 10. It's going to be a pass again, and he throws it downfield, but he just kind of throws it away to the sideline. And so we'll have to see here. And a little update for you. Sutter has retaken the lead in that game. So wow. A wild one there, 24-21, Sutter over West Valley now. And I'm not sure how much time is left on the clock in the 4th quarter, but very little, as my producer indicates.
Well, it looks like we have a little deja vu on both the screens here. 2 very exciting finishes in the northern section.
And so he's going to be a pass, and he passes it down, Brock Barr, and he's going to be intercepted again for the 4th time, but there is a flag on the field, and so we'll have to see where this ends up. And Hayes might have the interception.
Might have the interception. It looks like, nope, it's going to be a pass interference
It's going to
call.
be a pass interference against the defense, so very unfortunate.
Penalties once again hurting this Bobcat squad, and it looks like Tom Hayes might be down with a little bit of a cramp right there. And we'll see. We'll see if it looks like he's going to come off the field, so that's a huge blow to their defense as well. And if, Enterprise finds a way to tie this game up, that could have implications in overtime. So we'll hope, Tom Hayes, who's had a pretty fantastic second half, is able to come back in this game.
And he looks like he's leaving on his own power, and there's 1:17 left in this ball game. 39 yards to glory for Enterprise.
Whew, and they dodged a bullet right there.
Yeah, they dodged a huge bullet. He almost got interception for a fourth time.
Yeah, and that would have been a tough one to swallow there for Trueblood. But now he has a chance. It looks like Paradise is going to take a timeout, kind of talk things over with the defense, discuss some strategy, as they should, since they're kind of back on their heels. The most I've seen them back on their heels in this half. But, well, what a peach of an ending we have here, Frank.
What a peach of a game. I'm telling you, like, my adrenaline is on overdrive right now. I'm breathing hard. I kind of feel like, like I'm an actual fan, even though I'm impartial.
No, I know, but I am looking at a lot of these fans' faces right now, and they have the same look that you do and that we do, a lot of anxious faces. But this is what football is all about. And, if you're True Blood and you're this offense, this is what you dreamed of as a kid ever since you're 8 or 9 years old in the backyard with your friends, having the opportunity to make that game-winning drive and win that championship. So we'll see if the Hornets can make the dream come true here and pull out something fantastic late in the fourth quarter.
And so Zach Trueblood in the shotgun, and he's going to look to pass maybe here. No, he hands it off with the draw play, and so he's going to get past the 35-yard line, just around the 33. And so a nice little draw there, and that's going to bring us down to just about a minute left.
Yeah, and they're going to have to get their giddy up on right now because that clock is ticking.
And so under a minute now, and they hurried up the offense. And so it's obviously going to be a pass here, 5 receivers. And so over the middle, and he misses his receiver. And so a little miscommunication there.
Yeah, it looks like the Bobcats are sitting in a zone right now, a little 4 deep, almost like a short 4 deep, not letting anything go in over the top, keeping everything in front of them. And with that incompletion, it's going to bring up another huge third down here for the Hornets. And we'll see what they dial up here to keep their championship hopes alive.
And so 50 seconds left, 33 yards, the magic number. Man, there's going to be a timeout here for Paradise. And so they're going to make them think about it here. And that was Paradise's last timeout, excuse me. No, yeah, that was their last one. And so no more timeouts in this game, and so it's all come down to this now.
And, I think a lot of folks back home might be kind of questioning Coach Prince right there. Why are you calling the timeouts? The clock is your friend. But in a situation like this, you want to make sure that you're young. You have a bunch of young kids in a very, very tight situation. You want to make sure that the coverage is exactly where it needs to be, so you don't have a blown coverage and give away a very easy touchdown here. So very methodical timeouts here by Coach Prince.
And so with that timeout, Enterprise is going to look for glory.
They certainly, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they do get the touchdown. I think they're certainly going to go for 2. They get it because they want this win. They're not going to risk going to overtime again if they get the score.
And so 5-step drop, and he waits, but it is caught at the 15-yard line, and so it's inside the 10 now, and that will stop the clock temporarily. 41 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and you know what? You just get on this ball and you spike it right here. You don't want to risk some sort of penalty or someone getting offside, so let's see if they spike it right now.
And so the clock has started again, and he's going to spike the ball to stop the clock here. 38.9 seconds left in this game. They have the ball at the 10-yard line. And so with the spike, that's going to drop them back like maybe, it is right at the 10-yard line there. And so Wow.
Wow.
I mean, we couldn't ask for a better game here.
True
a lot of drama here.
True Blood certainly showing his true grit on this drive right here. You know, could have kept the head down after the 3 interceptions, but is leading his team down the field right now, and it is a pleasure to watch.
And so with a man in motion, he has one running back, and he has a lot of, and it's going to be off his fingertips. And he just threw it a little bit behind the receiver on that one.
He certainly had him right there, just didn't put it on the spot. I think if he would have caught that, this place might have collapsed with all the fanfare going on, because this beehive was about to erupt. If he would have caught
Hornet's nest.
Hornet's nest, I should say. Bees are not as fierce as hornets.
But the intended receiver was Justin Abney on that play. And so here we go as Trueblood comes out, and he throws it to the back of the end zone, and it's going to be caught, but it's out of bounds, and it's going to be called incomplete. And so the fans jumped up, raised their arms in the air, and then they quickly were silenced.
They want it so bad, and they almost had it right there. It looks like he was about 6 inches from going out, from being in bounds.
And so they're going to be a 4th down and 10 now, so 4th and goal. And 29 seconds left in this game, so this is the pivotal.
This is it. This is your ball game right here.
Of this whole entire game. It rests on this play's shoulders. And like we said, 4th and goal, they have to get a touchdown here.
They have to get a touchdown.
And so very exciting here as we see it, and he passes it, and it is a touchdown. And so it's going to be 34-35 here with 25 seconds left in the game.
Let's see if they do go for 2 here. They might want to go for the tie, but I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Trueblood wants to avoid overtime and just win the game right now. You have the momentum. You have the Bobcats finally on their heels, where they've been pretty strong for most of the game. Let's see if they decide to go take it into another overtime or try to go for 2.
And so with the touchdown, that's going to be number 6, Travis Hall. And so Hall coming up big there as he found a little out route on the bottom of your screen there.
This is fantastic.
In the end zone. And so now they're down by 1 point, and they will be going for the win here.
And this will be fantastic because Trueblood fumbled the snap the last game.
And so he rolls out, he throws it, and he's going to be in. And so Enterprise is going to take the lead here, 36-35. I don't believe it.
And that
25 seconds left, 36-35, Enterprise up.
What a fantastic drive and overall finish by Trueblood in this offense. As I mentioned, the last time these two teams were on the field, it was Trueblood who had the fumble snap in overtime that gave Paradise the 1-point win. He finds redemption and finds his man for the 2-point conversion. And now the Bobcats are going to have to dig deep for a miracle here in this crowd. Oh, my.
And that was Isaiah Matthews on the conversion. So 36-35, and now Paradise is going to have to try down. They do have enough time for a couple of plays to try to launch it down the field.
I'm not going to lie, I also put my arms up, too, when I saw the touchdown, because that's the stuff that football is all about there.
This is the stuff that legends are made of, especially in a championship game, the most important game of the year.
Okay, well.
And so Enterprise can come up big, you know.
Yeah, we'll see what they come up with here on special teams. They need some decent field position because they don't have a very prolific passing game. But you're going to be bet that I'm going to put a solid bet that Johnny Porter is going to be their man going down here in the passing game. So let's see what the Hornets do on this kick.
And so Tyler Burrows. And so the kick's going to be a little squibber, and he just lands on it. 23 seconds left to go, and they pick it up around the 32-yard line. So not the kind of field position I'm guessing they were hoping for. And now it's up to Paradise to try to drive here for the win. And they only need a field goal, so they only need to get it down to just about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I would say for Machado's range, get it solidly to about that 20 to 25-yard line, maybe 30 if you have to risk it. You also don't have any timeouts, too, so you need to get your giddy up on.
And so he just does a little dump out to his receiver, and it's out of bounds. 19 seconds left, and that pushes them to the 34-yard line. So they only picked up just about 4 yards on the play.
Nice.
3 on the play, so it's going to be a 2nd and 7 here on the 34-yard line.
Now, if you're the Enterprise safeties here, nothing can get past you. You have to keep everything in front of you because the clock is now in your favor with 19 seconds left. Cover everything deep, tackle the short, keep them in bounds. Ooh.
And so that's incomplete there, 14 seconds left.
Ooh.
And so at the West Valley Sutter game, they just had a field goal, and now they are tied 24-24 in the fourth quarter. So both of these games providing excellent action. You should have both pages up and just be going back and forth and split screen it like they do on Red Zone Network, because this is an amazing night of football tonight.
You know, I was looking forward to this game, but I was not anticipating that Sutter West Valley game to be quite a dandy. And what a great ending to both these games. Let's see if Paradise can, ruin the home crowd hopes right here.
And so he's going back to pass, and he throws it up over the top, and it's going to be intercepted. And so Enterprise will win it here. And 5 seconds left to go, and Enterprise is going to win it here by 1. And so very disappointed fans for Paradise as they made the trip all the way up here. And they had the lead for most of the third quarter, but then their hopes were dashed at the very end of this ball game, and now it is all but over. And the fans are very excited here.
Yeah, and they should be, because a lot of years, a lot of heartache has just been washed away, especially after that overtime loss earlier this season. And tip of the cap to both these teams on 2 fantastic seasons, but wow. You have to give it up for the Hornets, who never gave up in this ball game and found a way to win and finds a way to win a Division I title right now.
And so Enterprise Hornets, the Division I champions here, and they beat the Paradise Bobcats 36-35. And so this is all we could hope for here.
What an excellent another excellent chapter written in this rivalry game between these two teams. And, even though it's almost hard to, I guess we'll discuss it at the break, the player of the game, because it's kind of up for grabs at this point. But, wow, there's not much you can say about such a fantastic finish to a fantastic game.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we just saw the Division I championship football game where Enterprise beat the Paradise Bobcats. We invite you to stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com for our post-game coverage. We'll wrap up all the action in our post-game show, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. That's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, the Enterprise Hornets, Division I champions here, have defeated the Paradise Bobcats 36-35, a one-point game on championship football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Well, welcome back to Redding, California, and the PlayOnSports.com postgame show. I'm Frank DiRienzo alongside Nick Dobis, and we just saw the Enterprise Hornets beat the Paradise Bobcats in one of the best games I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
And they win the Division I championship, and so it was just awesome.
Yeah, and I think, even though it's so tempting to give that player of the game nod to Trueblood for really riding out the turnovers and leading his team to probably one of the more memorable drives this program will ever have. I think the game of the player of the game definitely has to go to Woods. Brad Woods had the most solid, performance, racked up a ton of yards against this Bobcat defense, and gave him 2 critical touchdowns, and also made that critical lateral play at the end of the first half to give them that touchdown. So congratulations to Brad Woods and the Enterprise Hornets on a fantastic season and an unbelievable, unforgettable finish here tonight.
And these players are going to remember this game forever, because 1-point lead. It seems insignificant to anybody who's not a fan or who isn't a player, but this will go down as one of the biggest games in these seniors' lives. And, now they just can look to the future, and, they, ended their senior year on a good note.
Yeah, and it's too bad, too, because, it is a very bitter pill to swallow for the other side, for the Bobcats, who also had a fantastic season. And, their defense actually played a very, stout second half, except for that final drive. But, Trueblood was able to, pull his offense together and get that drive that he needed. And, this game definitely had a little bit of everything. And it's certainly one I'm not going to forget anytime soon. And anyone here, especially on the Enterprise side, will forget it anytime soon either.
And, man, that was just one of the best overall games I've seen in a long, long time. And so,
and you look at the, then this is only just going to be a game that is going to fuel this rivalry for years. You look at the 2009 game, that was a 3-point game. The game on October 5th, 1-point game. This game, 1-point game. So this will be a game that not only these two programs will circle on their calendar, for the years to come, but a lot of people will take a look at it in the northern section as well.
Well, that's going to wrap it up from the Enterprise Community Stadium, where the Enterprise Hornets they were crowned the Division I champions, after defeating the Paradise Bobcats 36-35. We'd like to thank you for joining our PlayOnSports.com's coverage of championship football here in Reading. Be sure to check PlayOnSports.com for information and links to all of our upcoming broadcasts. For our producer, Ron Borges, our videographer, Justin Barney, and my partner, Nick Dobis, I'm Frank DiRienzo saying so long, and we hope you'll join us next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.